times there is a tendency to acquire things ahead of requirement. I think this is something that we need to realize, and SNS message is loud and clear, cash over sales. That being the case, I don't think we should let the sales drive the inventory acquisition plans, but cash should drive it. The third thing to bring in is we all do that at our home, but somehow we forget it when we come to our offices or go to our sites. Live within your means. If I am earning 10,000 rupees in a month, I will make sure I will spend 9,000 rupees. But when I run a business or run a But when I run a business or run a site, why is it I think that I can earn 1 lakh of rupees but spend 10 lakhs of rupees? The simple truth, home truth, the grandma truth is live within your means. Now, if we follow that and make sure that cash collected is a constraint, then automatically working capital will come down. And the fourth thing that we are now trying to do in a more systematic manner, and I think I should thank SNS for the push, is that can we be little more methodical in allocation of cash? In our business, there are sites which are generating cash, sites which are consuming cash. Often we tend to take money from generating sites and give it to sites which are actually eating money. We want to turn it on its head. We want to give money to the people who generate money so that they can progress faster, complete the job and get out of the site. Whereas people who actually eat on others' money, possibly we are making them sick. And we need to deal with this sickness in a preemptive manner. In fact, the COVID virus is a good indication for us. There's so much of conversation about preventive care, meaning you ensure the virus does not reach you. The same is the case in working capital. We should ensure bad habits lead to poor working capital does not reach us. So a lot of preventive measures would be required. So it's not one step that we can do to reduce working capital. A lot of things have to happen at lots of people's minds and actions for it to come down, but I'm confident it will.
Thank you, sir. The next question again is directed to you. We are getting a lot of MOU and indirect financing jobs. How do you suggest that we go about these kind of jobs?
MOU is a good development. I thought I just mentioned it in my comments that we need to co-create that opportunity for a customer. Many times the customer is stuck because he doesn't have a clear visibility on the funding. And what I think some of the initial instances in Africa has taught us is making it workable. So much so we are even thinking of staffing a role. Generally, when we are talking about right-size the organization, cut the flap, merge roles, make people redundant of the current roles, simplify the process, automate it, all that we are speaking. But despite that, I'm saying that we're trying to staff a function which will actually liaise along with the business and connect the business with funding agencies. Because there are lots of pools of capital which have developmental objective to them. And these pools of capital do not know how to find their way to the correct corners. Likewise, we have customers who don't know where the pools of capital lie. This effective intermediation, MOU actually forms the background of this effective intermediation because we don't want to put all this effort for finally a tender to come where we'll have to be L1. So co-creating an opportunity and using MOU, I think is a good idea.
Thank you, sir. TMD, sir, the next question is for you. With a 90,000 crore liquidity infusion into discoms, there will be some relief on our payments. To what extent will it have a favorable impact on the PT&D business?
Let me put it this way. The discom has been one of the biggest bugbear of Indian electricity. I think it has been used as a punching bag by a lot of people across the political setup as well as the organizations. Now, what it has done today is It has ensured that it has been borrowing. It has been practically, I think, managing the electricity with some other people's cost. Government has given the first set of 90,000 crore to ensure that the discoms ensure paying the GenCos. Okay, that is only the first step. Our whole process is, I will look at it this way, saying that if the government has also brought in certain conditions of reforms in the process, like direct benefit transfer of, instead of cross subsidy trying to be removed, direct benefit transfer, smart metering, if all these things together goes with it, that 90,000 crore goes as an inflow into the discoms who can help to make the GenCos more profitable. The GenCos can look at how to generate more and give the supply, but this supply again cannot go back to the same old mean of just giving it free. We will have to bring in direct benefit transfer. We will have to bring smart metering to ensure the supply goes to the right set of people and there is a payment coming in, so that the discoms become more accountable on it. The people can get the direct benefit transfer from the government, but the discoms have to become more efficient, try to cut the ATN, the average transmission and commission losses. If it starts doing all this, then the discoms will become efficient. They will start generating money, and the money can go back into the projects. So to me, this is going to be a little lag. The projects coming is going to be little lag, but this will bring certain discipline if we can bring all these things what I've been talking into really implementation mode. So we will have to wait and watch today that whether it is going to really create business or not. But it can bring a total, what shall I say, a step jump in the way discoms work if the whole thing is looked upon as a total package. That the 90 crores is the first step. All the other reforms which the government has been talking of, but it will require a lot of political will because people have been used to free power. How do we wane them out of this and ensure that they come into like the gas has been a very classic example today with direct benefit transfer coming. The gas people are getting at the commercial level. So it brings an inefficiency. Similarly, if the direct benefit transfer goes to the people and the discoms can start selling at the commercial levels, then they will start looking at the average cost of procurement versus average cost of supply. It will bring an efficiency into it. It will bring accountability. And once an accountability comes, you start working it. So to me, this is a little long-term effect. This is now a first step given to ensure that they don't come out of the ICU and start breathing. But to ensure that they don't go back to the ICU, it has to be a collective effort by all of us. So I will say that it is the first step taken in the right direction. Let us see how it goes forward.
Thank you, sir. Arisa, sir, the next question is for you. What are your comments on the current liquidity situation of L&T?
Well, I think L&T has taken some right steps. Fundamentally, I think L&T has been very conservative financially. It never was over-borrowed. It was, in a way, managing to rotate capital and stay to be a AAA company. Very few companies in such times can retain their AAA, and L&T is one of them. But if we don't handle this situation well, and we become complacent about our liquidity, we could lose our AAA also. What have we done? Anticipating difficult 12 months ahead, we have, with the permission of the board, raised money ahead of requirement. And you would have read that in the paper or seen it in some of the newsletters. We have raised money not because we actually needed them. It is some kind of a war chest should things go wrong. Actually, the first 2 months with very little revenue coming into the company, but all the cost being incurred, we are running expenditure of 600, 700 crores a month. And that was all being funded. SNS spoke about the salary being paid on the due date even today. So all this expenditure, without no certainty about when the recovery will happen, we had to provide a buffer, a rain check, which is what we have done. But having said that, I ideally don't want to dip into that. I don't want our businesses to get a feeling that we have 9-10,000 crores that we have raised is available for us to spend. It is not available for us to spend. It is an insurance cover. Should the company go into prolonged lockdown, should it go down to some kind of a second wave of this COVID, etc., and if the year turns out to be more difficult than what we are anticipating, then At that time, to run helter-skelter for raising money, we will be paying more. And normally the fundamental is you should take money when it is made available to you and not when you need it. And the best time to raise money is when bankers approach us and not when we have to approach bank. And that's what we have done. We are okay liquidity-wise. We have taken precautions, but that is not meant for flood. We have got an umbrella for rain, but we have no solution for a flood.
Thank you, sir. That was the last question for this webinar session. I really look up to SNS sir, RSR sir, and TMD sir with a deep sense of gratitude for sparing their valuable time and inspiring us to handle the crisis with confidence. With this, we come to the end of this webinar. Thank you all. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you once again to all of you, to RSR and SNS for sparing time and making the whole PTD feel it's critical for. Thank you very much.
Thank you.